My name is Alyssa Rowan, and after 5 years of flawless performance at Redstone Analytics, I genuinely believed I understood how corporate America rewarded hard work. You grind, you deliver, you outperform, and eventually the company recognizes you. I exceeded every metric they ever put in front of me. I crushed deadlines that other teams said were impossible. I rebuilt our forecasting system from scratch when the old one collapsed under its own outdated code. I even trained 3 supervisors who now lead their departments because I, apparently, was too essential to move from my position. So when the senior operations lead role opened, a job I'd practically been doing unofficially for a year, I didn't just hope for the promotion, I expected it. Everyone did. My team literally joked that I should practice my acceptance speech. But the day the announcement came, my stomach dropped so hard I swear I felt the floor tilt. The promotion didn't go to me. It didn't go to the coworker with 9 years of seniority. It didn't even go to someone in our department. It went to Tyler Grant, the 24-year-old nephew of our department manager, a guy whose most notable achievement at work was microwaving fish in the break room and setting off the fire alarm. HR called it a strategic decision meant to bring fresh perspectives. But when I walked into the meeting room where they delivered the news, their eyes darted like they were avoiding a crime scene. My manager, Leo, couldn't even look at me when he said, "We believe Tyler has leadership potential." Leadership potential? The man once asked if Excel was that green math app. I didn't say much. I didn't argue. I didn't protest. I simply sat there, nodding politely while something inside me clicked into place. Not anger, not despair, something colder, something clearer. Because if they had simply chosen someone more experienced, I would have accepted it. If they had said I needed more training, I would have worked for it. But nepotism, brazen, sloppy, obvious nepotism, that was a direct insult to every ounce of work I'd put into that company. And what they didn't know, what made this entire situation almost darkly funny, was that I had been documenting everything for over a year. Every hour I worked off the clock for fix Leo's overlooked mistakes, every file I corrected that Tyler later claimed he helped with, every initiative Leo presented to upper management that I had actually built from scratch. I even had screenshots of emails where he told me to prepare full project proposals that he later submitted under his name for management exposure. So when the whispers started, because of course they did, people from other departments began asking questions. Why did Tyler get the promotion? Wasn't Alyssa the one who built the Q4 model? Isn't she the one everyone goes to for answers? Redstone's perfect corporate facade started to crack. The first break happened when Tyler, 3 days into his new role, tried to present the strategic plan for the upcoming fiscal cycle, the plan I built, the plan he had never even opened on his computer. He stumbled through it, sweating like a man trapped in his own lie, until one of the board advisors finally asked, "Who actually prepared this?" Everyone's eyes shifted toward me. I kept my expression neutral and said, "I developed the full model and supporting documents." Tyler, panicking, blurted out, "We collaborated," which was a bold lie considering his only contribution was asking me what P&L stood for. The room fell into a heavy silence, and in that silence, something clicked for the people who mattered. Because suddenly, people started pulling threads, quietly, carefully, and those threads unraveled everything. I was called into a private meeting with the board's compliance officer 2 days later. At first, they asked me about project workflows. Then they asked about documentation. Then they asked about leadership responsibilities. And finally, the question I'd been expecting, do you have any evidence of discrepancies in credit attribution? I opened my folder. Weeks of email threads, time-stamped documents, project histories, access logs, screenshots, Slack messages, everything. I didn't embellish, I didn't dramatize, I simply laid it all out. when they reached the email where Leo instructed me to complete a client migration plan and then later submitted it under Tyler's name for management exposure, the compliance officer actually leaned back and whispered, "Oh my God." What followed happened fast, faster than I expected. Leo was suspended pending investigation, Tyler was placed on temporary leave due to performance concerns, HR was audited for violating internal promotion policy, and suddenly their confidence evaporated into panic. And me? 3 days later, the board of directors called me into the executive conference room. Not HR, not my manager's office, the board. They told me they had completed a preliminary review and concluded that the promotion process had been compromised. "We would like to offer you the role of Senior Operations Director," the chairwoman said. Director, 2 levels above the promotion I originally applied for. With a salary increase so significant, I checked the number twice to make sure it wasn't a typo. When I walked out of that room, I felt taller, not because I won, but because I finally understood that sometimes injustice doesn't require rage, it requires precision. Tyler eventually resigned. Leo was terminated for cause. HR went through a full restructuring. And every time someone tells me that hard work doesn't matter, I think about the day they tried to hand me someone else's promotion and instead handed me my power back. Because this wasn't just revenge. This was proof that the truth, when timed right, can flip an entire system upside down.